Help me to be like you, Lord, you're true. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sisters in Christ. And as you can tell today, one of the sisters is missing, but that's not going to stop us from having a fun conversation. So today I am joined by Miss Omaria Williams, and she's the executive director of Adopt a Mom and Pop.
Yes, I'm Omaria Williams, and I'm the founder, executive director for Adopt a Mom and Pop. And I'm very excited to be on this podcast with the sister, one of the sisters, Lauren.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we're happy to have you here. We both share a love for the senior citizen population, and so I'm excited to share that with anybody who may listen, and then hopefully they'll be encouraged to maybe reach out and find seniors in their community that they can serve too. So I'm going to start off just by asking you, so what is the mission of Adopt a Mom and Pop?
Adopt a Mom and Pop mission is to enhance and inspire the lives of senior citizens by establishing lasting relationships to combat loneliness, social isolation, provide resources, and promote balanced activities to keep them engaged.
Yes, ma'am. So how long has this ministry been going on? When did you start it?
It was started in October 29th, 2008.
So that's
And
been how long? That's like 17 years almost, right?
yes.
Wow. That's amazing. So what led you to start Adopt a Mom and Pop?
Well, I always had a love in my heart for senior citizens. And as a child, my mom would always take me to visit the homebound and cook meals for them and had conversations. And I was just so intrigued by that at an early age. And I always, from I guess 4 years old, said, I would love to continue doing this. I knew in my heart.
Mm-hmm. So
Yes,
from 4 years on, you've always had that heart for them.
always. And I got started when I joined my church in Roswell. I got involved with their senior ministry, and I will go out on the weekends. And for some reason, I will always feel like there was more to just worshiping, visiting, praying. I wanted to spend more time, especially with those that were lonely. I saw there was a need for the lonely seniors and
Mm-hmm.
those that had dementia. So we had a new membership class at church, which we had to write our vision and our mission down. And once I did, I knew exactly that God wanted me to get into serving the senior population.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes
Yeah.
we have something on our heart and our minds for a long time, but at some point we just have to take that step of faith and say, okay, I'm going to pursue this. I know this is what I'm called to, and so that's exactly what you did.
Yes. I just knew it was confirmation.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So, how does your faith impact the way you interact with and care for the seniors that you serve?
I believe in the scripture, Psalm 71, verse 9, that says that do not cast me out at an old age and not to neglect the seniors. And I just always know that my faith could help in so many ways as far as serving them and sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know that with him, all things are possible, and this generation really needs the love of Christ. And so having that opportunity to do that just makes me feel very good inside and make me feel like I'm contributing to a generation that really needs the Lord.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you think is the hardest part of your job? Because I know there's a lot of amazing parts of the job, but what are some hard things that you have to deal with?
There's some hard when they start to decline. Also, the fact that many seniors I have met over the years have come to Christ, but there are some that have not received Jesus. And it's difficult when they pass away, just knowing that they did not receive him. But you never know the last minute, maybe they repented, and I always pray for that.
Yes, ma'am.
However, however, it's very difficult to see them decline and not knowing Jesus, not knowing to call upon him in their last days. And I noticed that those that really, really know the Lord, when they're transitioning, they are more at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And I still pray, but that's the most difficult part of my job.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
Yeah.
because those who know Christ, they know that where they're going is far better when they where they currently are. And so they can have a peace about that. It's still very difficult to go through that transitional period, but they know looking forward, they're going to spend eternity with Jesus.
Right. And just spending the time every time we get together about what life would look like on the other side is
Mm-hmm.
very, very fulfilling to know those that are very secure that they're going to meet with him. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And it's encouraging for you too, I'm sure, even though you're much younger than a lot of them. I mean, everybody can look forward to the hope of heaven.
Oh yes, definitely. Definitely.
So, what advice would you give to people with elderly parents?
Well, the first thing, if they understand that we're supposed to honor our mother and father, which is one of the first commandments for their lives to be long on this earth, understanding that and trying to, live that life according to what the Bible says will be the first thing to make it easier to take care of your parents. That will make you to be more intentional because you know what God's word says about that, and having great listening skills. Children that listen to their parents, especially as they get older, is a great thing because as they gracefully age, there are more needs. There are different stages. They could go from understanding everything in one day, and then the next week, they might start to decline mentally. It could be dementia and so forth, and we're supposed to be able to understand the processes and how to deal with those processes. So I will highly recommend listening and being attentive, because especially if you're not in the same jurisdiction, it's easy to ignore certain things. But if you carefully listen, I'll give you an example. When I had my gerontology class, the professor parents were elderly, and she was saying that she had not heard from them in a couple of weeks. And she called about maybe 7 o'clock on a Sunday morning and asked them what they were up to. And they said, "Oh, we just came from church." Well, the mother said, "We just got back from church." And that didn't sound right. She's like, 7 o'clock, you're just coming back. So she packed up her bags and went over to Seattle, wherever they lived, and found out that both parents had dementia.
Mm-hmm.
And so she, had to take, so that's why it's very important to pay attention to details when you're dealing with them. And then also keep them active. It's important to keep them engaged because lack of activities leads to mental decline. So there are 5 categories that I recommend, that is recommended for seniors. That's socially, creatively, intellectually, spiritually, and physically. And just getting them involved will really help their overall moods, because as you get older, some seniors are so concerned about what life would be like even later, like even preparing, some of them feel, oh, I could leave any day now. But if they have something to do, if they have a purpose, they would thrive better.
Mm-hmm.
So just, keeping them active is very good. And also just having a plan in place. You can't just assume that, okay, when they get old, things will be the same, because things change around you. You will need support, family support. Caregiving is very important. Sometimes a relative, sister or brother might be out of town, out of the country. So if you start to plan at a younger age, it will make life easier for the entire family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, for instance, in my life, I always knew that I wanted to be there for my parents. So I started a little business, a little errand service company. And whenever I have an emergency, I have contractors that work for me part-time that can fill in, and I'll be able to run my mom to the doctor. And when my dad was alive, I was able to do that. So just having a plan in place to meet their needs is very essential.
Mm-hmm. And when you talked about listening, I agree that's so important. And we need to not make them feel badly about their declining situation because they can't help that, whether it's physically or mentally. It's not like they're trying to do this. That's just the natural process that the body takes. And so we don't need to ever shame them or guilt them or make them feel badly because that's just going to add to the problems that already exist.
That is a great point. You're right. And there has been a lot of frustration among families. They don't understand the process.
Mm-hmm.
So they get offended because maybe a parent says something that they shouldn't have said. But if you really and truly know your parents, you know they were not like that before. So
Mm-hmm.
as the age, shows more grace, and hopefully someone's listening to us today and they will, pay attention because it's important.
Yeah, and I like to think about how our parents raised us from the time we were born. We were in diapers, we couldn't take care of ourselves up till we were 18 plus, and then we were on our own. And so when we're looking at them aging, we have to remember the way that they cared for us and try to mimic that and respect them in the same way.
That is so true. And that's where honor your mother and father is important,
Mhm.
because if you don't, it's gonna be a chaotic life, you're
Yeah.
not gonna be at peace. They're not gonna be at peace. And we just want to have a peaceful life. And if we do things according to God ways, his word, he's gonna make a way out of no way. He will
Hmm.
provide the means. It doesn't have to be extremely stressful or extremely overwhelming because he opens doors that no man can shut if we have the right intention.
Hmm. So, what are some common issues that seniors struggle with, and how does your specific ministry meet those needs?
Well, it's funny because when I first started, I used to think, well, I'm just going to go to one area and just deal with people that are less fortunate, maybe. And then I realized, no, that's not what it's about. It's meeting their emotional needs. And everybody, regardless of your background, face loneliness.
Hmm.
And we focus a lot on that social isolation, loneliness, because that's one of the number one thing that they face. Everybody's looking for someone to come and talk to them, visit them, especially if they're in a home away from home, like a nursing home or
Hmm.
assisted living. You have some people that are introverts and they've been introverts all their lives. But there has to be some kind of strategy to get them engaged. And so we have some volunteers that will visit one on one to individuals like that need that one on one interaction. We started a care call plan during COVID, when COVID first started, for those that were locked in and didn't have any friends to come and visit. And that's been very beneficial to the recipients because they look forward to someone calling, a friendly voice, a friend that they have established over the phone. And so we do that. Another thing that a lot of seniors struggle with are finances. Our organization does not provide money. However, individual volunteers will meet some needs if they could afford to meet that need, including myself. We will, from time to time, get gifts, maybe a gift card or whatever, and take it to that individual that needs something. But we are not really big into giving finances like that.
Hmm.
And then also we engage a lot in different activities because a lot of the seniors, we want them to stay active. So it's always something that we do to keep them going and have memories with them. We share a lot of memories with them. Yeah.
So, anybody listening, I do talk about Adopt a Mom and Pop a lot, so a lot of my family and friends probably already know about it. But about a little over 2 years ago, I was at home one day and I was like, I really want to use my gifts that God has given me to make an impact. So I was just researching online different senior living ministry opportunities, and then Adopt a Mom and Pop came up. And so I clicked on it and I was just looking through the website and I was like, this is so cool. This is right up my alley. So I just filled out the little application form and sent it in. And then you got back to me within a few hours, I think it was. And then from then on, we've just had such a great relationship. And you've introduced me to about at this point, like 5 senior citizens that I've had really strong relationships with. And there's one today that I call her about once a week and I'll go visit her sometimes. She came to my wedding shower with you. And so I'm just so thankful for what you're doing because I know it makes an impact on them, but it does on me too. And so I just want to thank you for creating this and for following what God placed on your heart.
Well, thank you for mentioning that because I had planned on mentioning you at the end, but it's been a blessing since you've been on board because I asked God to bring the people that He wants. Initially, I was looking all around, like, oh, please come. And I would get volunteers that really didn't have the passion or the compassion to be there for the seniors. So I asked the Holy Spirit now, bring whoever you want.
Hmm.
So hopefully, with this podcast, more people will see
Yeah.
that have the heart for seniors, not just anyone. And I'm not going to ask anyone anymore. And God has been opening doors. So I'm very thankful for you, Lauren, for all you've done and you continue to do because one, I'm jumping the gun. I will get there later because I want to say something else, but it's not time yet. But I will mention before you end this session.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So, over the past 15 years, 15 plus really, it's almost 17 now, how many seniors have you helped over the past 17 years?
I would say when you say help, there are different kinds of help in different capacity. We have reached out to about 2,500, and that's in different senior communities. We've serviced at least 18, no, about 20 senior communities over the years. And with that said, we've done Bible studies, we've done art projects, we've done fashion shows, group visitations, individual visitations, annual senior citizens events for National Senior Citizens Day. With all of that, we've reached that many seniors, and
Wow,
it's been really rewarding.
that's
Yes,
incredible.
yes.
So, do you have any stories that stand out to you involving the seniors you've worked with over the years?
Yes, actually, I have two stories. One of them is actually you. You have been so amazing with the volunteers, and we had one of our recipients, Papa Lou.
Mm-hmm.
Lou was an amazing young man. Well, I call him young man. He was elderly, but he was so excited when he met you because you played the guitar for him. You had conversations with him, and it meant so much to him. And it really touched my heart when he passed away. You wrote a song called Papa Lou, and the family appreciated that so much. And you were invited to perform at his funeral. And that just touched my heart so much. I can't even tell you because Papa Lou meant so much to me. I don't even want to cry now. But, we spent time with people and they really, I appreciate everything that the volunteers do because if it was not for people like you, these seniors would just be lonely and not have anyone to come. So thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough.
Well, thank you, Miss Lamaria, because if you didn't start this organization, I would have never had the opportunity to meet with these seniors. So it really is a partnership with you and then all the people that share your vision.
Yes, and I have another one, Mama Maxine. I met her at Cottonwood Gracious Living is assisted living, independent living, sorry, in Alpharetta. When they first opened, we had a National Senior Citizens Day program there. And immediately we connected when she said, my name is Dr. Maxine Williams. I said, well, my last name is Williamson. And I said, well, I'm just going to call you Mama Maxine. And from there, we just established that relationship and we were there for her. She had to move to Arizona because of family and adopt a mom and pop volunteers helped pack her up and so that she would have a safe commute to Arizona. We had a great time and it was sad having to see her leave. However, we continued that communication with her throughout the years. When it was her birthday, we sent her like bouquet of flowers and all of that. But what really stands out was during COVID we have a volunteer by the name of Brenda Jones that would call her weekly. And I would call her also because I knew that she was extremely lonely. And she told me, she said, I had pretty much given up on life. I felt like I was hopeless. I didn't have anything to offer because she asked the home where she lived if she would do like a Bible study or minister and they would never give her the opportunity to do so. So she was really depressed. And when we started that weekly call, her whole life was transformed. She said she could not thank, especially Brenda, for what she did.
Mhm.
And the fact that they developed that friendship where Brenda needed some counseling, maybe, or, some advice. And she was able to advise her. She was like, wow, I'm being used by the Lord. So I I think that really stands out, and that our care call plan is very effective. And I want people out there to know it's available and it's free.
Mhm.
So if they have any seniors that are lonely and they just want a friendly voice, they can reach out to us.
Okay. Oh, so it is free. So it goes both ways. Either a volunteer can volunteer to help with the call plan, or a senior can reach out to you and then you'll get them in contact with a volunteer.
Yes,
Okay, cool. That's good to know.
yes.
So I know you've already mentioned a few of the ways, but just in case someone is listening and is wondering, okay, so what are some of the things that I can do? Can you just give us a list of some of the things that volunteers can help out with?
Yes. We always have needs as far as social media. Anyone that's really good with helping to promote Adopt a Mom and Pop, or marketing, or photographer who can help us at different events. Any kind of talents out there, if you're musically inclined like you are, you sing at some of our events, or creative in terms of artwork. We have seniors that are artists. And that's another thing that a Mom and Pop love to promote seniors that have their own businesses, or if they don't, to start, because it's never late.
Yeah.
So whatever we can do to help to get that going, we're always here. We do Bible study. As a matter of fact, my mom was doing Bible study, and we try to get senior citizens to volunteer as well. So she would go to the Oaks, which is an assisted living in Alpharetta, and do Bible studies there. Well, when COVID came, they stopped all of that. So she doesn't do that now. She would call seniors over the phone. So yeah, we need people that can maybe read to seniors that cannot even read. Whatever talents you have, there's so many things you can do. And to plan different events, like we have one coming up in August for National Senior Citizens Day this year. We're hosting a senior prom at Grayson Community Center in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and what they're going to have best dressed male and best dressed female. So anyone who wants to come and, maybe be a judge or help to serve the food or even to donate, we're going to have like an Italian dinner. Any companies that are listening or individuals that want to serve, you can reach out to us and we'll be happy. Yes.
Oh, that'll be so much fun. I know a
Yes.
few years ago they had a prom at my Nana's assisted living home, and it was so cute seeing everyone dressed up.
Well, hopefully you can visit if you're around. It will be Friday, August the 15th.
Okay.
I do have the flyer, it's online, so
Okay,
um
gotcha. So, do you see Adopt a Mom and Pop expanding in the future?
yes, I do. We've always had that in mind. That's why if you look at the logo, it has a globe. We want to extend everywhere that we have relationships. As far as in the United States, we've already reached out to seniors in Tennessee, North Carolina, Arizona, and the Maryland area. As far as Liberia, where I'm from, we also have had assisted some of the seniors there with feeding, and really want to open up a branch there and want to start that process in October of this year.
Oh, wow.
So we definitely are looking to expand. Yes.
So, if someone's listening and they're really excited about what you're doing and want to be a part of it, how can they view your services or find opportunities and see upcoming events?
They could actually go to our website, adoptamomandpopinc.org, and we have flyers there with upcoming events. We have a volunteer application form that they can fill out. And once I receive that, and Lynn, who's a volunteer receives that, we will contact that person and get them involved.
Okay.
So
And you
our,
also have a Facebook too.
yeah, I was just, yeah. And Facebook, we do have a Facebook as well as an Instagram
Okay.
that they can follow.
And all of those are Adopt a Mom and Pop Inc., correct?
Inc., yes. However, the Instagram is underscore because there was a problem with one of the accounts being hacked in the past. So the Adopt a Mom and Pop link on Instagram is adopt underscore a underscore mom underscore pop underscore. It's like that. That's how it's set up on
Okay.
Instagram.
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having this conversation with me today. I've really enjoyed it, and hopefully, anyone listening will be encouraged by it and inspired and kind of see why you and I love the senior population so much.
Yes, I hope this will be beneficial to Adopt a Mom and Pop because we really need to continue to reach more seniors, especially one-on-one. We
Yes,
need
ma'am.
more care call people that will provide the calls to them weekly. So hopefully the right people will join us.
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
want to thank you for this opportunity. It's been a blessing just to be able to talk about Adopt a Mom and Pop with you because I know how much you love us.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Well, thank you for everything you do for me too. I'm really thankful to have you and your organization, and we're like family now, so I'm really thankful for that.
You're definitely family. You're the one that the senior remembers. They say, "Oh, she calls me Mama Dottie." You
Uh-huh.
always you're so warm and accommodating, and I know you enjoy what you do at your job right now too with
Yes,
the
ma'am, I
senior.
do. Well, until next time, be the light by living His truth.
Look for the truth, look for the truth.